Episode number 90 of the Wholesome Fertility Podcast. Welcome to the Wholesome Fertility Podcast. I'm Michelle, a fertility acupuncturist here to provide you with resources on how to create a wholesome approach to your fertility journey. My guest today is Kayla Smith. Kayla has an extensive background as a professional fitness trainer, wellness educator, and author. To date, she has published 2 books, The Complete Hormone Puzzle Cookbook and The Hormone Puzzle Method for Solving Infertility, as well as an online course with the same name. Kayla also holds 4 distinct qualifications as a certified holistic health and wellness coach. She realized her dreams of creating a virtual holistic health and wellness practice and helps women all over the world solve these issues. As the creator of the Hormone Puzzle Method, Kayla helps her clients learn how to cycle sync so that they have pleasant periods, boosted fertility, happy hormones, hotter sex lives, and greater creativity, productivity, and well-being at work. So welcome to the podcast, Kela.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Me too. So give us some background on your journey and how you, basically your background, your own fertility journey inspired you to do the work that you're doing today.
Yeah, for sure. So my husband and I, we struggled with infertility for over 2 years. We decided we got married. We knew we wanted to have a family pretty quickly. We were both very healthy, we thought. So we started trying and tried for about 3 months and nothing was happening. And so we went the medical route and I went to my doctor. She ran a bunch of tests, told us we were both completely healthy. She didn't know why we weren't conceiving. So after about 3 more months of that, she said, okay, well, let's try fertility drugs. So we did about 3 rounds of fertility drugs. Knowing what I know now, I wish I had not done that because...
So like Clomid?
Yep, we did Clomid for 3 rounds. It was really hard on my body and it didn't work. And so we went back, did some more testing. She kept saying, there's nothing medically wrong with you. We don't know why you're not getting pregnant. And so we were diagnosed with unexplained infertility, like a lot of people are.
I hate that diagnosis. I think a lot of people do. It's a horrible diagnosis.
And so that's when I had the moment where I had been a personal trainer for 10 years. I knew nutrition. I knew like there's nothing medically wrong with me. So I should be able to figure out what's wrong naturally and be able to fix this naturally. And so that's what I did. I just got in my kitchen and got really intentional with what I was eating. I did all kinds of research and went back to my old nutrition books and try to figure out, okay, what foods will boost my fertility naturally? Like, am I doing anything in my lifestyle that's jeopardizing me? And what I found was I was exercising way too much. My body weight was way too low. I was eating lots of low fat and lean cuisines and processed foods. And I thought that was healthy. And so once I started eating more whole food nutrition, I started eating those fertility foods. I was able to reverse this infertility diagnosis and we were able to get pregnant, not once, but twice. So once I figured out how to do it, we got pregnant again. And so now I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So yeah, it was a really amazing story. And through all of that, I decided that I wanted to go back to school because I thought, my doctor never talked to me about nutrition. She never talked to me about, these are the things you should be doing to boost your fertility. So I said, I want to help other women learn what I have learned and not have to struggle the way that I did. So I went back to school. I got quadruple certified in holistic fertility and hormone coaching and started my business. And so that's what I'm doing today is helping women all over the world with these issues.
That's awesome. And what your story and what you're telling me is so common, where you go and you go to the doctor and you expect to get like guided towards something that's simple, but they don't know as much about diet. And then they put you on this pill that actually makes you feel worse.
Right.
So it is, it's this kind of like puzzle, like you say. I mean, that is a great way to put it, of trying to figure out basically what makes your body tick. Now, when you were mentioning about over exercising, did that affect your period as well?
It did. Yeah. I wasn't having my period. I was really thin, which I
Hmm.
thought I'm super healthy. I'm so fit, but I was way too thin and way over exercising. So yeah, that affected a lot of things, especially my period.
So when you went to the doctor at that point and you didn't have your period at all?
No. Well,
For how
not
long?
at all. It was sporadic. Yeah, it
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
like regular periods like it should be like it is now. Um,
Hmm.
but she never mentioned to me that I might be over. She never asked. She never
Yeah.
said that to me. Like, what do you do? What does your lifestyle look like? What, like, are you exercising too much? Are you, she never said you're underweight because I was fit. I wasn't per se underweight, but I was probably, my body fat was a little low to
Right.
see, which I didn't realize. So
Exactly. And you were
yeah.
saying low fat, which fat is so necessary for hormone health.
Right.
And also to create hormones, you need fat.
Yep, exactly.
So how did you figure it out on your own? I mean, you just started like reading more
I
because now,
did,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously you're certified, but how did you like figure this out?
So I just started researching, what foods are going to boost my fertility naturally. Like, what supplements should I be taking? I learned that I need to be eating more fat, like you said. I need to be eating lots of balanced whole food nutrition with lots of fruits and vegetables, and not eating processed foods, not eating lean cuisine because I thought
Mhm.
that was healthy.
Right.
And so, but just through my research and just reading everything that I could about fertility and about diet and how it affects things. And so that's how I kind of put together, what I teach today.
Yeah, and I actually just recently had somebody on who had talked about hypothalamic amenorrhea, which is what she had from over exercising. And we had this whole conversation where I've even had patients that at first had a very difficult time with what I was telling them, is that because I think that a lot of people who do overexercise really believe in their heart of hearts that they're doing the right thing for their bodies because
Right.
we're taught that.
Yep.
Really, exercise is great. You got to exercise. You got to eat lean. And we're taught, for a while we were taught not to have fat, and
Hmm.
to now it's changing a little bit more. There's more research on the benefits of fat, but talk to us about the, I guess, the perception and the reframe that you probably have to do with a lot of your clients.
Yeah, it's that whole mindset shift. I'm working with a lady right now who thinks that in order to lose weight, she has to meticulously and like almost military like exercise every day. And that's changing that mindset to no, you don't have to exercise like that. I teach a lot about working with your hormones when
Hmm.
you're exercising. So whenever your hormones are high, using that energy and using those hormones to do those hard workouts, to do that HIIT class, that spin class. But when your hormones are low and they start to come back down during your
Hmm.
luteal and menstruation phases, listen to your body. You
Right.
have low energy for a reason. Those hormones are starting to detox. And so let's do some more, light movements. Let's do yoga and walking and Tai Chi. You can still move your body without doing hardcore exercise. And so that's what benefited me and what helps a lot of my clients.
So another thing is too, is if you think about just how many gyms are out there now, it's becoming a thing to have these gyms that are really excessive exercise, like a very hardcore intensive workouts. And it's becoming like a norm. And I've seen injuries from, I can't even tell you. It's I think it just, the bottom line is that there's this beautiful golden path of balance.
Hmm.
And I think that when you veer away from it in any direction, even too much of a good thing could be really not great for your body. And but what I'm saying is that we're kind of like an uphill battle just for the fact that it's becoming in mode.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm all about just listening to your body. Our body knows what to do. It knows naturally, intuitively what we need. So listening to that and changing that mindset to where you don't have to do this hardcore exercise to be healthy. And like you said, it's all about balance.
Yeah, for sure. So talk to us about the hormone puzzle method.
Yeah, so the Hormone Puzzle Method is a method that I created that I use with my clients. It's what I used with myself, and I just kind of coined that phrase. And puzzle is an acronym, and it's all the steps that I take my clients through. So it's proper whole food nutrition,
Hmm.
understanding supplements,
Mm.
zapping stress, Z's, love and encouragement, and exercise and environment. So it's
Oh, I
all
love that.
pieces. Yeah. And
That's great.
it's really easy for the client to remember, like,
Hmm.
okay, I need to do puzzle. And I named it puzzle because I feel like your hormones are like a puzzle, and your fertility and health, that you're putting all these pieces together. And when they fit together properly, you have balance, you have homeostasis, you have this beautiful picture of your fertility and your health. But when
Hmm.
one piece is out of balance, that's when you have issues and symptoms of, hormone imbalance and infertility and all these things. So it's really easy for the client to understand and know those steps when they hear that acronym, and then they
Yeah.
can kind of follow that. And I've actually written a book about it too, a 450-page textbook
Oh, wow.
that outlines all of this.
That's
Yeah,
great. And so basically your method you wrote a book about,
exactly. Yes.
and then it has all the different pieces.
Yep, and goes into more detail with action steps, and
Hmm.
these are the pieces, but these are what you should be doing on a daily basis to integrate this new lifestyle into your life.
Right. So when you work with people, you first start out by just having a conversation to seeing where they're at. Because one of the things too, one of the biggest obstacles I think that most people face is also the behavioral. Like they're so used to doing things a certain way, or there's so many habits, and I think that that's one of the biggest challenge that people face when they're creating any kind of transformation in their life.
Mhm.
Is it's so difficult to change habits of eating or habits of exercise, and mindset's really important in that aspect of it. So how do you work with people on that?
Yeah, I work a lot with habit change and just trying to implement these small things into your life. So, like, you weave them into your daily life so that
Yeah.
they do become habits, and they become almost like you're not even thinking about it anymore. So, I want
Right.
people to look at health and wellness like this is my lifestyle. It's like brushing your teeth or getting up in the morning and, breathing. It's you
Yeah.
just do that. You don't have to think, I need to brush my teeth today because it's good for my teeth. No, you
Right.
just do it. It's just a habit. And so that's what I teach my clients how to do with their health and wellness, with their fertility, with their nutrition, their exercise, that these are just your way of life. This is just what you do. And so as you start to do that, it does become a habit. It becomes easier and it becomes
Hmm.
your lifestyle.
Yeah. So basically, when you see people, and I know this is going to range, it really depends on a lot of things. But what's the range, like from minimum to about average, of what you see as far as the time frame to get where people can start to feel and see a difference in their hormone balancing?
So usually after about 1 to 2 cycles, so that's 30 to 60 days, they will
Yeah.
start to see some improvements. It usually
Hmm.
takes about 3 to 4 months before you actually start seeing lasting changes. So I tell everybody, give this 3 to 4 months, but this is a
Hmm.
lifestyle. This is
Yeah.
not something that you're going to do for 3 to 4 months and then you're going to go back to your old ways.
Right.
No, you'll start seeing changes pretty quickly, but then give it time to see those lasting changes, and
Yeah.
then adopt these into your life as habits. And this is your new lifestyle, your new way of being.
Yeah, for sure. And I noticed that for me, it's like 3 to 6 months
Hmm.
with the herbs and the Chinese medicine, and because we're bound by cycles.
Hmm.
So we have to go through it, and our bodies eventually will start to see the shifts. But usually about 3 month mark is when you see like a big difference. And how do you, what are the biggest challenges that you see that people face in regards to nutrition, like not realizing?
Yeah. So it's, not eating the right nutrition, not eating balanced nutrition, relying on packaged foods that we might think are healthy. There's so much marketing that goes into food, and people see that, low fat, no fat, gluten free, sugar free, and they think that that's healthy, but it's really not. So it's just, trying to stay away from those packaged foods, trying to eat more whole food nutrition. I
Mhm.
even coach on staying away from dairy and gluten. Those are one of the,
Mhm.
two main allergens that we see. And so,
Yeah.
especially the dairy with the hormones and all of that,
Mhm.
endocrine disruptors. And so I think staying away from those foods and just, eating whole food nutrition is really key when it comes to balancing your hormones and to being as healthy as you can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love having a whole food diet. I mean, really, it's just about whole food. If it comes from the earth, that's whole food.
Exactly.
If
Yep,
it comes from
exactly.
a package, not so much.
Right, exactly. And I also coach a lot on intuitive eating. Like I said earlier,
Hmm.
listen to your body. If you're
Right.
hungry, then eat and give it whole food nutrition. But are you really hungry for food, or are you bored, stressed, mad,
Right.
frustrated? Like, are you in the habit of going to the fridge every 2 hours now,
Right.
especially if you're home all the time? So
Yeah.
just eat when you're hungry and do something else when you're not, to fill that void that you're trying to fill with food.
And I'm sure a lot of people, if they're used to just eating because they want to eat, or they're eating because they're bored, they really do believe that they're hungry. So where
Mhm.
is that shift? How can people shift and start to become aware i- of the difference of why they're eating?
Yeah, I teach on something called the Hunger and Fullness Speedometer. And
Hmm.
this is just listening to your body and saying, am I actually hungry? Like, are you feeling true signs of hunger? And
Hmm.
learning what those are. Is your stomach growling? Are you lightheaded? Are you, weak, or, lethargic, or whatever? Those are
Yeah.
true signs of hunger.
Right.
But, or when you ask yourself those questions and you're not really feeling any of those signs, are you just eating because it's lunchtime, or it's because it's here?
Hmm.
Listening to that body and really focusing on that is what's going to help you to eat intuitively and to eat only when you're hungry, and to feed your body that good nutrition that it needs when it needs it.
Right. And you touched upon a couple of troublemakers when it comes to hormone balance. What are other troublemakers? And gluten. I'm gluten free, team gluten free, because I don't have it. If I have it, I feel off. I've never been celiac, and my kids had symptoms when they were eating gluten. I mean, it seems to be something that causes a lot of symptoms today, more so than it used to be. And I think that a lot of factors contribute to that, including spraying and just genetic modification. I mean, it's just different today than what it used to be.
Right.
So can you talk about just other troublemakers, I like to call them?
Yeah, definitely looking at your environment and seeing how much toxins you're around on a daily basis. I'm a big proponent of eating organic. If you can
Mhm.
afford it, eat 100% organic,
Yeah.
because you're going to protect yourself from all the pesticides, the herbicides, all the things that they spray on our food.
Hmm.
And one thing that I don't think a lot of people understand is that these toxins and these pesticides are in the soil. So
Hmm.
even if you're
Right.
washing fruits and vegetables, it's grown into the food. So you
Yeah.
can't just wash it off.
Right.
So eat 100% organic if you can, choosing organic fruits and vegetables, and meats, and free range chicken and eggs, but also thinking about the toxins that are around you and the things that you put on your body. So are your
Yeah.
beauty products toxic?
Hmm.
Or your cleaning products and your laundry detergent, your dryer sheets, all of these things are endocrine disrupting things that you do not want to put in or around your body, especially if you're trying to get pregnant. you know
Yeah.
I would say even just for overall health in general, but definitely if you're trying to get pregnant.
Yeah.
So those are a couple of things that I say, try to choose organic and try to stay as toxic free as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. It sometimes feels like an uphill battle, but the truth is, once you learn about it, it's actually not so bad. You just know where to go shopping and
Exactly.
you just know what to look for, and then it gets easier over time. It's
Exactly.
just a matter of, because once you have your list, you have your list.
Right, exactly. And I always teach, start with one product. When you run out of that product, replace it with a non-toxic substitution. Then do that the
Right.
next time you run out of a product, and the next time. So it's not like you have to go into your house and throw away every single thing that you use, but just
Hmm.
over time start replacing these products with cleaner options. And then before you know it, you're living a non-toxic life. All your products are non-toxic.
Right. And I also get like, where do I go? What do I do? Do I have to look at ingredients all the time? It's not necessarily the case. You can actually go to specific websites that everything they have is clean. So
Exactly.
there's no question.
Yep, exactly.
So is there any tip that you can provide for the listeners, somebody who like isn't able to afford hiring a coach, but wants to do something different for their bodies, and where do they start?
Yeah, I have so many free resources available because I understand, not everybody can hire a coach, but there are things that you can do on your own. You can do your research. You can implement some of these things that we've talked about today into your life to start to make these positive changes. And one thing we didn't talk about that I talk to my clients a lot about is cycle syncing. And
Mm-hmm.
that is eating based on where your hormones are throughout your cycle. So you're either feeding your body to make the hormones that you need, or
Mm-hmm.
you're feeding it foods to detox the hormones when you need to do that. And I have a free resource. It's my cycle syncing quick start guide. So if
Mm-hmm.
anybody wants to grab a copy of that, I can send that over to you, or however they want to get it. They can get it off my website.
Wait,
And
so give us more details on that, on cycle
yeah,
syncing.
so it's eating based on, so cycle syncing, for those that don't know, this is a functional medicine protocol where you are eating based on where your hormones are. So it's like eating certain foods during certain times of the month to make the hormones that you need, especially like estrogen and progesterone. So feeding your body protein and different things to make these hormones.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's also eating detox foods during like your luteal, your menstruation phase,
Mm-hmm.
eating foods like garlic and lemon and celery and naturally detoxing foods to pull these hormones back out. It's
Mm.
also looking at how you exercise, different things that you're doing at work, doing things based on your hormones and based on, how much energy you have, how charismatic you are,
Right.
how, so it's really working with your body instead of against your body, and working with your hormones.
Right. It's like using the phases. I mean, Christiane Northrup talks about that in her book, Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, more about what happens during that. It's a great book. So what happens during that time and how that affects your cycle, but also it's similar to seed cycling, but this is much more overall, like on every level, basically.
Exactly. Yes. And
And
I
like using that.
incorporate, yep, I do seed cycling with it. So yeah, I love seed cycling.
Yeah, it's great.
Mhm.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
it. It's so interesting to me. The whole thing with a cycle is so interesting to me because I do feel just over time when you start to pay attention, and it's also with the moon. I mean, we really connect with the nature around us way more than we realize, and utilizing that tide. So like now we're in this quarantine, which hopefully will be over soon. And by the time this airs, hopefully it'll be completely a memory in our past.
I hope so.
But even with this, there was definitely a wave that this gave us that we didn't have before, which is time. Really, time opened up for us
Hmm.
to be able to do things. So it's like riding that wave, whatever gift this wave gives us. And we have these cycles and different times and tides that give us a gift or an opening to something. We can
Hmm.
either look at what it isn't, or we can look at what it is and just kind of take advantage of that and flow with that. So
Yeah.
it sounds like this cycle syncing
Hmm.
works on that, which I just really love that whole concept. So
Yes,
cool.
me too. Yeah.
Great. So people can go on your website, and so how can they find you, and how can they find the resources that you just mentioned?
Yes, so they can go to my website. I have two actually. So I have hormonepuzzle.com, and on that site, I have two free cookbooks, so they can get that. Then I also have a masterclass, 5 tips to decode your hormone puzzle. They can watch that. Then I also have kaylahealthcoach.com, which talks about my programs and how you can work with me. I have online programs. I have one-on-one coaching. Or they can follow me on social media. Like I said, I give so much free information. I do, free webinars and all kinds of different free posts and different guides. And I actually just did a smoothie challenge where I gave everybody this whole list of smoothies that they could
Mhm.
incorporate into their lives, which is really cool. So my social media is on Facebook. I'm at Kayla Health Coach. Instagram is at Kayla_Health Coach. LinkedIn at Kayla Robinson Smith, and my Facebook group is at Hormone Puzzle. So join that group if you're struggling with hormones or infertility, or you just want to lose weight.
Great. I'm going to have all these links on the episode notes. If anybody has any questions or they don't know the spelling, you guys can all find it there. So Kayla, so I said your name wrong. I said Kela.
Yeah, that's okay.
Kayla.
I didn't even catch that yet.
Sorry. I'm
Kayla.
glad. But Kayla, thank you so much for coming on. You have
You're
such a
so
great positive energy, and I love your vibrancy and your passion. And I think this is great. I think what you're doing is a wonderful thing, paying it forward, something that really helped you in your life and giving it back to the fertility community. So thank you
Yes.
so much for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks, Michelle. I had fun. Thank you.